Hello my scrappy friends and welcome to my channel once again today. This is my last share this month for Anna's Craft Cupboard using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Legendary collection. This is the page that I have created. I finally pulled out my most favourite pattern paper and I used it for a layout. These are the photos I'm scrapbooking. I thought I would change it up and work on a girl page with this boy collection. I use those terms very, very loosely, but yes, that's what I thought I would do. So the photos that I'm scrapbooking are the two photos that I showed you at the beginning of myself and my niece at her 21st birthday party in January this year. And I knew I wanted to use those with this background paper, which is called, let me have a look, Wild One. And the title Love You. So I'm using the die cut titles and one of the clear stickers which you saw I stuck onto a piece of white cardstock and I have trimmed around. These photos are a bit smaller than 3x4. They are terrible quality, which is part of the reason they are black and white. But I was like, yep, I'm going to scrapbook them because, you know, you only turn 21 once, right? So I've put those on some tissue paper. I've decided that I'm going to work on the bottom right hand corner of this page. I've used, so that layer behind my photo on the left is from the cut apart sheet in the 12x12 and I can't remember what it's called. But when I put the photos on, I kind of went, oh, they look a bit lost on this background. So I have these stars that I have left over from our superstar layout that I created the other day. And I thought I would give those a go. So you can see I'm just adding some foam behind my photos, sticking them together because it's going to be easier for me to move them as one piece. Then I realized I wanted to layer that paper behind that photo. And I'm like, these stars are not quite big enough and the pattern's too dark. What am I going to do? So I had this left over from the 6x8 paper stack. Thought I'd give it a go. I have sped this up super fast. And I thought, okay, I'll give this a go. The white on there looks better. And then I was like, ooh, I can cut a love heart. Let's make this really girly. Not that love hearts are specifically girly, but yeah. So I gave that a go and I'm like, this is definitely looking better. This is more what I wanted. So I'm going to start sticking all these layers together that I've worked out that are definitely going to be how they are. I'm like, no, that is not big enough. So I have pulled out a piece of white cardstock. This is textured white cardstock and I'm just going to trim it down to a square and then do exactly the same thing that I did with that pattern paper and hand cut a heart. Very quick, very easy. You don't need any special skill set or anything. And basically you can have whatever shape you like. I wasn't happy with the shape. I did like it that bit bigger, but that's okay. I really like the shape of this heart, so that's what I'm going with. I'm going to pull all my bits and pieces off to the side, and I decided to play with my Lindy's Stamp Gang magical shakers. I have got 3 colours here, Time Travel Teal, Guten Tag Teal and Bavarian Blue. I'm pretty sure the first one I start with is the Guten Tag Teal. This cardstock is plain white textured cardstock. I have done there's no gesso on here or anything. So I've spritzed it with water, sprinkled on the magical shaker, added more water, used a paintbrush, moved the colour around. Adding those 3 colours and again just moving the colour around with the paintbrush until I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. And I'm going to bring my heat tool in. So I've left part of this drying process in because now this paper was absolutely soaking wet. If I had picked it up it would have torn. But I wanted to show you that I did lift up so it dry underneath, which helped to dry it off. And then I put paper towel underneath it when it was dry enough for me to pick up without it tearing. And you could see I was drying the front and the back. I don't mind the dimension that I've got and the warping that I've got, but I did want to make sure it was all completely dried. So I I have decided on placement. I'm going to pop it so that it is right over to the right hand side with part of the heart coming off the edge of the paper. And I decided that that still wasn't quite popping enough. So I have pulled out this other pattern paper. It is called All Star, and I'm using it for the grey. I originally thought that I might use it for the white, but I wanted the dark pop, so I've gone with the grey, and I'm like, yep, I love how that looks. Again, I traced around the first heart I created to get the basic shape, and then I have hand cut it slightly bigger, and I'm like, yep, love that. I decided I wanted to add some more to my heart here, so I've got a couple of background stamps from texture stamps from my stash, using grey archival ink, and I end up using black, I think it's VersaFine ink actually. And you can see I'm just randomly stamping that on, and it's just for a little bit of interest and texture. I'm not so much looking for the exact shapes or anything. Yes, I'm really liking this. I'm like, oh, but I want a bit more contrast. So I'm going to grab this hexagon one. Yeah, it's VersaFine ink and black ink. You can see that I haven't actually re-inked that stamp at all, but I did manage to get black ink everywhere. I've dried that off with my heat tool, and I'm like, yes, I'm loving this. This is awesome. I'm going to have it so that it's coming off the right-hand side of the paper. And I'm going to trim the hearts down before I do anything else, because I want to do some hand stitching. So I have marked where the edge of the pattern paper is, and I'm just using my paper trimmer to make sure I get a nice straight line. Like, yep, this is great. Really happy with this, but I want that heart to stand out a little bit more. So the next thing I do is my black ink again, and I'm just going to add black ink to the edges of most of the things that make it onto the page. So starting with that grey heart. Now again, I don't know how I managed to, but I got black ink all over, like the inside of my palm. I don't know how I did it. Just special, I guess. I'm like, I'm not going to do the mixed media heart at this stage, but I did decide that I wanted to bring a little bit of black into the background. So I've got my black India ink, just checking how much of those splatters are going to be covered up, and I'm going to add a bit more. And then I come in with a paintbrush and add some smaller ones, because the dropper thing that comes in the bottle is really good for getting those bigger splatters. And now my hand stitching. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of this, poking my holes, just eyeballing it. And this is the colour I'm going to use. It's a dark grey. I'm going to use all 6 strands. And here is a close-up of that heart completed. And I really love it. I've done a chain link stitch and added some foam behind that heart. Take off my branding strip. And what am I going to do next? So I have sped this up because I knew I wanted something else, but I didn't know what I wanted. And I've left most of this process in, but like I said, I've sped it up. I think this is like 6 times faster. I did pull in that heart, that first heart that I created. You can see I'm adding ink to the edge. Try that in there, and I like it, but I'm like, that's okay. That's a good place to start. Let's see what else I can add. So I've got my tray with all of my embellishments here. I really love that hey good looking sentiment, but that doesn't make it. Try the tags. You get to watch me try this all over the place, because I really did want to include it, but it doesn't make it. Spoiler alert. So like I said, I have sped this up super fast because I try a bunch of different pieces, and I really struggled with this bit because I wanted to include everything, but I didn't want to include everything, but I wanted to have all the things. So this is from so I've also got the cut apart sheet from the 6x8 paper stack in that tray as embellishments. That is the journaling card from the cut apart sheet. And I'm like, that's a really good place for me to journal. It's not too big. I'm trying that Hey Good Looking again. Adding some ink, thinking that that will make it pop a little bit more, and it does, but it still kind of blends into that white heart. Okay, I'm like, what else can I add? Oh, I've got the stickers. So I've got that best ever sticker that I do put on white cardstock so I can move it around. But I like that it's rainbow and it's going in between the two photos. Kind of brings that rainbow to the front of the page again. I tried this yellow because I was like, maybe I can pull some more yellow in. I'm loving the yellow in the 6x8 paper pad. I've got these 3 clear stickers. It says so much fun, and I know I have a good idea where I want them to go, but I don't want to stick them down just yet. So I'd already decided that I really like the idea of adding in that pop of yellow. So I have made another heart in yellow, again using the 6x8 paper pad, folding it in half and simply trimming it, cutting it out. I've added a yellow layer behind my journaling card on the left. I just feel like that's too much light and white with that white heart, so it does come off. Distressing all the edges. I didn't want to put black ink on the edge of that yellow because I just felt that it would then lose the yellow. So I'm going to distress all the edges here of everything. And I've done my hearts as well, I think. And I'm going to start sticking what I know is staying. So at this point, I'm like, I'm going to try it without the white heart. I'm like, yes, yep, that's what I want to do. Just playing and being pedantic about the exact placement of where things are, because it's what we do. What am I doing? I think I've got another piece from the cut apart sheet. Yeah, one of the little green label. I'm going to stick that behind that other date label. I did add black ink to that yellow. That's okay. I think I made sure I didn't re-ink the blending tool. You can see there, in the middle of that heart, I managed to get a smudge of black ink. I'm special. Okay, so time for a little bit more embellishing. I start with these stars. And I've got them there and I come back later. Everything is now stuck down. These are all the bits that I knew, and so I stuck them all down. And here is the So Much Fun sticker that I'm going to put in. I love that. I really love these, that these ones are clear. Kind of remind me of rub-ons. And I'm going to pull in some of these word phrase stickers from the accessory sticker sheet. One of them says stay weird. I can't even remember. I can't even remember. Love this. You'll be able to see in the close-ups. I'm going to layer 2 above the photos, 2 below the photos, and 2 to the left-hand side of that journaling box on the vertical. Happy with that. I'm coming in with some clear stickers. Got some enamel dots on there as well, and I'm just roughing up some of the edges here, making sure everything is stuck. White splatters, because white splatters are going on everything at the moment. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to add my journaling in there, and here are the stills. This was a super fun page to create. I really, really enjoyed this. I'm so impressed that I used my favorite paper from the collection. I may have a couple more sheets of it. So yeah, I challenge you, use that favorite paper from whatever collection it is, use it, get it into your album. Because I wanted so much of this paper to show, I feel like I've done a really good job in that you can still see the main design, like the main pattern on that background paper. But I've still got all the things that I love on this page, including my mixed media. So the other thing to think about is doing the mixed media like this. It is all contained and it's not messy mixed media. I know that sounds backwards, but yeah, give it a go. I will make sure I leave links to everything in the description box below. As always, thank you ever so much for stopping by, for all of your likes, your comments, your support. I really, really cannot express how much I appreciate it. I hope that wherever you are well and with the people that you love. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I will speak to you soon.